late last night at Fenway, another September classic. A reserve named Jeff Stone was the unlikely hero, capping a two-run ninth-inning rally, and the Red Sox win over the Blue Jays. Today, Game 2 of the most important series played in the American League East this season. And scheduled to pitch for the first time in nearly a month, he's back, Roger Clemens. Without Clemens, the Bo Sox were struggling, but on this roller coaster ride, the Red Sox are on top again. In Cincinnati, the celebration's on hold. This ninth-inning Benito Santiago double kept the Reds from clinching the division they have led all year. And today, in Cincinnati, the Reds try again. One win or a loss by the Dodgers means the NLWest will finally be theirs. It's Major League Baseball here on CBS. And good day, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Welcome to Major League Baseball here on CBS. Well, the ball players may not like it, but this is what the fans like, all right. There are but 5 days left in the regular season, yet 3 divisions are still races, and 2 are photo finishes. And with that in mind, as we always do, let's go right to work. And we begin on this final Saturday in September with a look at the race in the National League East. The Pirates woke up this morning with a 3-game lead in the NL East, but that can change like the leaves change in the fall. The Pirates are in St. Louis right now, and they lead 3-0. They had a huge third inning. Former Met Wally Backman had an RBI single at the top of the third. He scores the first of 3 runs in the third. A lot of threes here. They lead 3-0, and their magic number is 3. The Mets are hosting the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs aren't great guests. They lead 3-1. Doug DeCenso had a 2-out single. He drives in 2 runs off of Frank Viola, who is still looking for his 20th win on the season, and the Cubs lead 3-1 there. Over in the American League, Minnesota leads Detroit 2-0 now in the 7th inning. The story of this game is Cecil Fielder is looking to become the first major leaguer this season, in fact, in any season since 1977, to score 50 home runs, have 50 home runs. He, of course, has not had that. If he does, we'll let you know later this afternoon. Other things going on today, college football. Notre Dame is having a little easier time this weekend. They lead the Boilermakers 27-3 in the third. Number 6, Michigan, leads Maryland 21-10. They are at halftime. Here's an interesting score. Virginia and William & Mary, 27-20 and 21. William & Mary is a 1AA team, folks. Number 7, Virginia, having some trouble there. Nebraska and Oregon State, number 8, Nebraska, trails Oregon State now 7-0 in the first quarter. And number 9, Oklahoma, leads Kansas 14-7. Let's take you back to baseball now. You know, Beantown, they're waiting for Clemens, and so do the Boston Red Sox. And boy, have they ever waited. An update on the big right-hander with the tender shoulder as Major League Baseball rolls on from Manhattan, and a ballpark or two after this. Stay with us.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. Today's pregame is brought to you by Best Western, where you'll find the right place at the right price. And by Nuprin. Tell Nuprin where it hurts.
And his nagging shoulder have been the talk of Boston these past few weeks. Everybody's been asking, when will Roger be ready? Roger's not ready today. The Red Sox have Joe Heska standing by. Earlier today, we had a chance to speak with Red Sox pitching coach Bill Fisher.
Well, Roger wants to try it, and unless he tries it, he'll be mentally, he'll always wonder what would happen. But we're going to watch him close, and if he starts hurting, he'll be out of there.
Well, we needed an expert on this, and when you look for experts, if you look in your own backyard, we've got Jim Codd, who pitched in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. He knows something about all this, and Jimmy, how does he look? Have you talked to Roger? How does his arm feel today?
Well, I think Bill Fisher, the pitching coach, Pat, hit it on the nose when he said Roger has to go out and try this. It's like in this city, Bill Russell and Larry Bird have tried to do the same thing. Common sense probably would have said they shouldn't. Roger's on a mission to say, I'm going to show you I can do this. What we can expect, I don't know. He's going to warm up, and he's going to take the mound, I think. And if he can go a couple of innings, 3, no matter how long he goes, he will have accomplished his mission by just trying to go out there.
Kitty, you and Dick Stockton will be calling the game for us today. What will you be looking for on Roger Clemens today?
I think the one thing that a sore arm affects more than any other is a pitcher's control. And Roger Clemens depends on velocity or power and control. And if that's not there early in the game, then we're not going to see Roger Clemens there very long.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
All right, Pat.
Let's change the subject here and talk about George Brett. You know, for those of us who are a little older, George is a wonder because at age 37, he's leading the American League in hitting. George Brett is still getting it done. Think about it, folks. George Brett has been getting it done for quite a while now. He won his first batting title in '76, a second in '80, and if he can hold on as the AL batting leader this season, and it looks like he's going to, Brett would become the first baseball player in history to lead his league in hitting in 3 decades.
I'm taking a lot of pride in this. I really want to do this for numerous reasons. But to be able to say that you've done something when my career's over, to, you know, when you're introduced somewhere, I mean, they would always bring that up. The only player ever to win a batting championship in 3 decades, 3 different decades. To me,
Major League Baseball continues here on CBS right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. We told you earlier that Frank Viola was looking for his 20th win on the season. We didn't tell you how badly he wants his 20th win. Bottom of the 5th, 2-out bloop single to left field, and he scores Jeffries. And now the Cubs lead it, but they lead it now 3-2, and they are in the bottom of the 5th. And we're getting ready to send you all out to some ballparks. You know, if you're a real baseball fan, you think of the ballparks, Tiger Stadium, Fenway, Wrigley. And now the words we didn't want to say here, goodbye, Comiskey. Since the summer of 1910, the old yard has seen a lot. The 1919 Black Sox threw a World Series here. And it took 40 years for the Go-Go Sox of '59 to make up for it by at least getting into the series, although they lost. About the only fireworks over the next 2 decades came in '79 when an anti-disco promotion turned Comiskey into a battlefield. Though the 1990 Sox had a great year, any postseason play waits for '91 and a new address. Yes, there are decades of memories here on the South Side, and beginning next season, they'll begin a new set with a new ballpark. As for the old one, kids from 1 to 92 will go through life with memories of what was. The problem is a lot of fans here in Chicago aren't just satisfied with the memories, they want the building. Yes, earlier this month, a couple of diehards were busted trying to split with the ultimate trophy, home plate.
Just to have, you know, years to come. Things been there for 90 years, and I wanted a souvenir.
By opening day next season, souvenirs and memories will be all that's left of the old park, which will, and we'll whisper this, become a parking lot for the new Comiskey across the street.
There's so many memories over here, and just like leaving an old house you can always go back and visit and know that that was a big part of your life. But you won't be able to come back here to visit because it'll be gone, and it's a big chunk of life for many people, many fans.
And after this Sunday, it'll be na-na, hey-hey, goodbye to Comiskey Park. After 80 years, it's over. Chicago may be the second city, but it's #1 when it comes to ballparks. When Comiskey's down, the oldest ballpark in the country will then be on Chicago's north side, 76-year-old Wrigley Field. And folks, believe me, there are no plans to tear that one down. That's it for now for us. We'll be updating you on all the scores throughout the afternoon. Next, we'll take you out to the ballpark after a message from your local stations. Enjoy the game.
The Cincinnati Reds haven't won a division title since 1979. They're in a spot to do it today. Lou Piniella takes nothing for granted.
I know the media here in town has made a big hullabaloo and given this team a little false sense of security, but we're in a great position. We expect to win, but let's win first before we worry about anything else, okay?
As CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball. It's a fine baseball day in Cincinnati, and some of the fans have jumped the gun. They think they're coming to a playoff game this afternoon. And this afternoon, the Reds will try to clinch it at the expense of the San Diego Padres. Cincinnati is ahead by 5 with 5 games left to play. All they have to do is win 1, and it's all over. And there'll be some fidgety people in the Cincinnati dugout this afternoon. This could be the big day for the Reds, and the first time since 1979. But Tim McCarver, you know so very well that one game can be tough to win.
No, that's really true. 5 games left for the Reds, 5 games left for the Dodgers. The Reds trying to become the first team since the 162-game schedule was initiated back in 1962 to stay in first place every day of the season. They've done it with offense, defense, pitching. There's not much left to baseball. And unless a miracle happens, they're a cinch to clinch.
And that would be a big miracle. They have a difficult pitcher to beat today, Ed Whitson. He's a 13-game winner and one of the best earned run averages in the National League. A 12-game winner, Norm Charlton, who's been moved out of the bullpen, will try to nail it down for the Cincinnati Reds. And this will be an exciting afternoon.
CBS Sports presents Major League Baseball.
Standing ovation for the Cincinnati Reds, who are after their 90th victory of the season here today. And none will be any bigger than this one this afternoon if they can win it and nail down the division crown. Norm Charlton on the mound. He has a record of 12-8, an earned run average of 2.70, an extremely hard thrower. But he'll be facing a San Diego lineup that can be very difficult to beat. They have some fellows who can hit the ball out of the park last night. They won here, and Jack Clark hit a tremendous home run, and they slowed down the Cincinnati victory celebration. Well, maybe today. Here's the lineup for the San Diego Padres. It's the same as confronted the Reds last night, with Bip Roberts in left field, Joey Cora at second base, Jack Clark at first, and Joe Carter in center. Benito Santiago, Hale, and Hardy-Now behind the plate, Darren Jackson at right, Mike Pagliarulo at third base, Gary Templeton at short, and Ed Whitson, a 13-game winner, will do the hurling for the visiting Padres, who snapped an 8-game losing streak here last night. This fella is a tough customer, Norm Charlton.
Defensively for the Cincinnati Reds, their defense, along with San Francisco, the best fielding percentage in the National League. Glenn Bragg's the left fielder. Herm Winningham in center field. Eric Davis is out of there. Paul O'Neill, the regular right fielder, starting today. Chris Sabo at third base, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Some think the finest shortstop in the game, Barry Larkin. Mariano Duncan, what a find he was, batting primarily right-handed now. The second baseman, Hal Morris, a rookie at first base, over from the Yankees. Jeff Reed behind the plate, and Norm Charlton on the mound, and the Reds could clinch it with a win.
Charlton's first pitch of the day to Bip Roberts, who's hitting .310. He shows a bunt and takes a strike. And there's a peculiar pitch to start this hitter off with. He's tough to pitch to. Roberts is only 5'7". He weighs 149 pounds. But he has hit 9 home runs. Switch hitter. That pitch is low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The home plate umpire is Dana DeMuth. Eric Bragg at first base, Jerry Crawford at second, and the crew chief is Doug Harvey. And a foul puts Roberts in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This pitcher, Charlton, has changed his pitching approach since coming in out of the bullpen. He used to just blow the ball. Now he throws off-speed pitches and breaking balls and tries to pace himself for a distance-going performance. 1-2 to the leadoff batter. And a foul ball. Keeps the count the same. Sandy Alomar, father of 2 Major League players, is coaching at third base, and Rob Piccolo, who joined the club this year as a coach, is working first base. Bip Roberts to start it off. And a foul to the right side. Keeps it 1-2. Greg Riddock, the manager of San Diego, has been signed for an additional year. He took over when Jack McKeon went up to the front office. And Lou Piniella blowing bubbles and hoping that this date is a memorable one for him.
Hoping his bubble doesn't burst.
You got it. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Charlton to Roberts. And a foul ball again, keeping it 1-2.
To show you what an achievement the Reds have done this year and how envious other players are, Bip Roberts told us before the game yesterday that in order to get in the playoffs, he would become the bat boy for a club and sit on their bench in uniform.
Put me in a uniform, I'll be the bat boy.
That's right.
1-2 to Roberts. Out on the corner. And that's the way this one starts. And you'll hear some, and Roberts didn't like that call at all.
Charlton does not fool anybody. Roberts thought this ball was outside. It was a very close pitch after fouling off some tough pitches. Norm Charlton comes right at you. Fastball, slider, and occasional forkball or split finger.
Joey Cora has been a hot hitter lately for the Padres. He's another switch hitter. And ball one is low to him. Batting .286. Not a home run threat. He has hit none this year, but he's filling in for Alomar at second base, who's out for the year. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. It's a friendly ballpark, a hitter's ballpark. 330 down the line, 375 in the power alleys, 404 to dead center. Cora took a strike. Cincinnati has a 9-7 record against the Padres this year. But they've only won 3 out of 7 against San Diego in this part. And a foul out of play evens the count 2-2. Some of these hitters are going to have a problem with the shadows creeping across the home plate area as this afternoon goes along. And a lot of fans have arrived late and still being seated here. With 1 out, a bouncing ball to Larkin. 2 out. And you can hear these customers, and they're all but counting every out. They want 27 of them, and their team to be on top when the game is over.
Standing ovation as the Reds took the field, and this crowd and this area is hungry for a division, a pennant, and possibly a World Series.
They snatched up those playoff tickets in a big hurry here once they went on sale.
Last time Cincinnati was in a playoff back in 1979 against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jack Clark takes ball 1 low. He has hit 25 home runs.
2 teams in first place in the National League, the Pirates and the Reds, were the only 2 teams that did not get into the playoffs during the 1980s in the National League.
Clark takes ball 2. Clark is pretty stubborn. He won't swing at that bad pitch. He gets an awful lot of walks. In fact, he leads the league in walks, and he gets a base hit. He's walked 100 times. He singles past short with 2 out.
There is no more dangerous hitter than Jack Clark on balls in the strike zone. If you're going to get Jack Clark out consistently, you have to have him go for an occasional bad ball, and he does not swing at many bad balls. He is a tough out.
And still a valuable piece of property. Now the other half of the 1-2 power punch for the Padres is up there, and that's Joe Carter. He's hit 24 home runs. A low batting mark, but a dangerous hitter. Carter has driven in 114 runs. He's 4th in the league. Runner at first, 2 out, and a foul ball, strike 1.
With Jack Clark at first base, Joe Carter has now had 240 runners on base when he's been batting this year. And he will tell you that's largely responsible for all his RBIs. 240 men on base, that's the most that any other player in the major leagues has had on base when he's been at bat this year.
Inside drives him off the plate, and that's part of the pitching plan of Norm Charlton. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out in the San Diego first inning. Padres wanted here last night to delay the celebration. Late swing, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You saw Charlton drive Carter back off the plate, and then he comes back with a fastball inside part.
Charlton can throw 90 miles an hour plus, as can Myers and Dibble out in the bullpen for these Reds. Carter bounces it back to the pitcher. Well, there's 1 inning closer to the division title. 1 hit, 1 left, 1/2 inning, no score. Stadium, and if the Reds win it today, they'll earn it because they have a tough pitcher to handle. It is Ed Whitson, a 13-game winner, one of the best earned run averages in the National League, 2.63. And he told me he's been very unlucky this year. He said, I could have won 20 games very easily. That's how well he's pitched. Here's the lineup for the Reds. Herm Winningham in center, Paul O'Neill in right, Barry Larkin at short, Hal Morris at first, Chris Sabo at third, Glenn Braggs in left, Jeff Reed the catcher, Mariano Duncan at second base, and Norm Charlton the pitcher.
Defensively for the Padres, Bip Robertson left, Joe Carter in center, Darren Jackson the right fielder, a fine infield, Mike Pagliarulo at third, Gary Templeton at short, Joey Cora at second base, Jack Clark at first. The best throwing arm I've ever seen behind the plate, Benito Santiago, and Whitson on the mound.
Whitson will face Winningham to start the inning. Winningham's traveled around with a few clubs, and I spoke with him this morning about possibly being on a winner, and he'd love it. He's a left-handed batter all the way. Used to belong to the Mets. Played for Montreal. He was there when St. Louis clinched it against Montreal. He said, boy, it's a terrible feeling to be on the other side. So these Padres will try to handle the Reds today. The pitch is inside on the corner and a called strike, 1-1. Whitson doesn't groove much. He has allowed 13 home runs this year. And a foul ball puts Herm Winningham in the hole. The Reds have used a variety of leadoff men this year, including this batter and Hatcher.
Mariano Duncan against left-handed pitching.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a breaking ball got him. An off-speed breaking pitch from Whitson.
One of the differences between Ed Whitson now and when he pitched for the Yankees is Pat Dobson, the pitching coach, has really worked with him on that palm ball. He drops down to left-handers. It almost has the appearance of a screwball that goes away from Winningham. That has been a very, very effective pitch for Ed Whitson.
You're right, Tim, and you could see his fingers extended after he delivered the ball. He'll deal with O'Neill, who is batting .267. And in at the knees, called strike. Paul O'Neill, he's from Columbus, Ohio. Pitch goes down and in. The Pirates are winning 3-0 in the 5th inning. Bobby Bonilla at it again. Bob walked the starter against Bob Tewksbury in that one. The Mets were trailing 3-0. Now it's 3-2 in the 6th with Chicago on top. Foul ball by O'Neill, 1-2.
Mets' magic number is 3. Any combination of Pittsburgh wins and Mets losses that total up to 3, and the Mets are out of it. The Mets are trying to hang on until next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when they go to Pittsburgh to finish the season.
That's what they have to do. They have 3 in Pittsburgh, and if they get there and still in it, anything could happen. A bouncing ball up the middle. This will be close at first. Base hit. Cora couldn't get the ball from the glove, and that's the first Cincinnati hit.
Paul O'Neill has just had a dreadful September. Coming into this game, 13 for 74. And it's amazing, he gets jammed on this pitch, but it's amazing what a little infield hit can do for a player's confidence. He has not been swinging the bat well. Cora tries to complete the play. The ball did hit Whitson's glove. An infield hit for Paul O'Neill.
There's Barry Larkin. He is hitting an even .300. He is from Cincinnati, so he'll have a lot of friends to celebrate with whenever Cincinnati clinches it. If they do, he bunts it in. They'll not throw him out. He must have been thinking about doing that all morning long.
Larkin can do so many things. He can hit for power, he can run, and he can bunt, as he shows here. Ideal for a right-handed hitter. The third baseman's playing back. Whitson, the only guy who could field the ball. A bunt base hit for Larkin.
And 2 infield hits for Cincinnati here in the 1st. There's one thing about playing a team such as San Diego, way under the 500 mark. And that is, if you, as a contender or potential winner, get out in front early in the game, you kind of give them the idea that, well, here we go again.
Especially against their best pitcher.
Correct. And Whitson is their best pitcher. 2 on, 1 out, and the batter is Hal Morris. What's he hitting? 346. And Tim said about O'Neill having a dreadful September. This fella is really having a great month. Ball one. September leaders in batting average: Eddie Murray, David Justice, Cal Daniels, and then Davis and Morris. And that's why the Reds were able to surge here in the month of September and stay ahead of the Dodgers. Now ball two.
Dodgers losing a very tough ball game last night, 7-6 to San Francisco.
It's going to carry rather deep, but Roberts is there. Comes right to him for the second out, and that's typical of Hal Moore's stroke. He uses the entire field. 2 on, 2 out. Chris Sabo hit his 25th home run of the year here last night, so he'll determine whether it's a good inning or a frustrating inning for Cincinnati here in the first. There is no score. Padres left a man on, and the Reds have 2 men on. That should end it. Templeton for a force out. 2 hits, both on the infield, 2 left. We played 1 inning, no score. If the Reds win, and if there is no playoff in the National League East, these lights will be ablaze here on Thursday night. And in all probability, these Reds will be playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's an 8 o'clock Eastern time game, and a swing and a miss by Benito Santiago. Second inning, no score. Santiago, remember the All-Star team missed the game because of a broken arm. He says everything's fine now. Even when he swings and misses, it doesn't hurt. He broke his left arm.
Pitched by Jeff Brantley back in June.
That slowed him down. He cracks it to third to Sabo. And 1 out.
Hey, it has been a remarkable year in baseball when you consider that Ricky Henderson needs 5 stolen bases to break Lou Brock's major league record. Carlton Fisk set the major league records for home runs by a catcher. He now has 332. Bobby Thigpen, 55 saves. Single season record, breaking Dave Righetti's record of 46 back in '85.
That figure is difficult to digest. Here's a strike to Darren Jackson, former Chicago Cub player. He's a speedy runner and a good defensive player with a low batting mark. And, of course, he's playing with Tony Gwynn out of the lineup for the Padres. Gwynn has a broken finger on his right hand, and that put him on the shelf. 1-1 and a base hit into left by Darren Jackson with 1 out. The second San Diego hit.
Looked like the split finger fastball to Jackson from Charlton. Hangs out over the middle of the plate. Yep. Laced to left field. Jackson can run also. Charlton does not do a good job holding runners on. 14 of 17 that have tried have made it this year.
So he'll see what he can do against Jackson, who has stolen 3 bases. There's Mike Pagliarulo, 4 home runs and that .243 batting average for him. And Charlton gets ahead on the count. 1 on, 1 out. Used to hear so much about sliders that hang. There's Gary Templeton waiting on deck. You hear a lot these days about that split finger pitch that doesn't break and gets hit hard. 1 on, 1 out. And a half swing. It's a ball. 1-1.
I think a lot of baseball people talk about hanging pitches, meaning that only pitches that are high in the strike zone that are breaking balls are hangers. That's not necessarily true. A pitch that's action has stopped in the strike zone is a hanger. It could be a fastball, a changeup, a fork ball, or a breaking ball.
Here the ball to the pitcher. Will they get 2? There's 1. And Morris took it out of the dirt. 1-6-3. We've played an inning and a half and still no score.
Where hot dogs and peanuts are delicacies. Where people shout with, not at each other. And for a moment, everyone just seems to be the same age. place so familiar, and yet with each visit feels exciting and new. Join us at the ballpark. You can call it home, too.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Cincinnati had 2 hits in the first and left the runners on. One was a bunt, the other an infield hit, and Glenn Braggs is first up. Thursday night, he hit a big home run for these Reds and brought them from behind against Atlanta. One of 6 home runs he's hit since coming over from Milwaukee.
Coming to Cincinnati from Milwaukee for Ron Robinson. Braggs has done well, and Robinson's 12-4 for the Brewers.
The pitcher Whitson has missed with the first 2. It'll be Braggs, Reed, and Duncan. 6, 7, and 8 hitters against Whitson. Whitson can pitch behind in the count. Doesn't walk many.
Because he's got control with his off-speed stuff, like that. The one thing you don't want to do if you're a pitcher, a major league pitcher, is make your pitches predictable. 2-0's the count. Glenn Braggs, a free swinger, the slider on the outside. It was a ball, but it looked like a strike.
How many times you heard somebody playing gin rummy said, well, this will probably gin you, and they throw the card, and the guy says, you're right. Same thing. You'll probably hit a home run with this one. Yeah, you're right. It's 3-1 now to the leadoff batter in the second.
That's why staying ahead is so important for a pitcher, because the chances of getting a hitter to swing at a ball out of the strike zone becomes much greater.
Even there, a breaking ball and a fly ball for Jackson. Darren Jackson, 1 out.
Well, the magic number is 1, and before the ball game, Jack Buck had a chance to talk with Barry Larkin about the magic number.
Any idea, Barry Larkin, how you feel if it happens today?
Well, it's been 11 years in the city. I think myself as well as all these people that are going to be here today are going to be quite elated. You know, hopefully everybody can keep this thing in perspective and go out and win the ball game first. You know, Lou said after the game yesterday, let's put the horse back in front of the carriage and let's win this thing first and then worry about the celebration afterwards.
But you'll be smiling.
Oh, I'll be smiling. You know that.
Barry is from Cincinnati. There he is. Alex Trevino, number 8, alongside him. And Rob Dibble, number 49. Larkin, a University of Michigan product. And you saw that score earlier. Michigan winning their football game this afternoon. And right up the street from Cincinnati at Columbus, Southern Cal is playing. There's strike 2 on the foul ball by Jeff Reed. Don't tell me somebody caught that one. That ball was going into the seats. He did? Sign him up, man.
There are usually better plays made in the stands than on the field. Without gloves.
That one wasn't for me. That was a whistler. 0-2. You caught it. Nice going. Sign him up.
Whistler's brother.
And a breaking ball got this batter. Reed down on strikes. Second strikeout for Whitson.
Think about the areas that Ed Whitson can get you out. He throws the slider in to tie up Jeff Reed. He can get hitters going forward with the changeup, and he still has a good enough fastball that you have to respect. See how that ball just tied up Jeff Reed, the slider in tight on the hands.
The pictures we're showing you today, you can see how those pitches move from Whitson, and I don't think we've seen a pitch down the middle of the plate yet. There are 2 out. There's a hit for Duncan. Mariano Duncan batting .304 at the start of the day and in a bit of a slump. Smashes one to right.
I'll tell you, if you're a Cincinnati Reds player, you've got to be fighting to be hitting in the 8-hole. 16 home runs, 84 RBIs from the number 8 spot this year for Cincinnati. And Mariano Duncan, that's one of the big reasons he's had such a good year. That may seem like an insignificant hit, but you can clear Charlton to have your leadoff batter lead off the third.
So even if Charlton doesn't do anything and he missed the bunt try, he's had 5 hits. That means that Winningham, rather than Charlton, will be leading off in the third. There's no score here in this pivotal game for Cincinnati. The Dodgers play later this afternoon. Pitch goes low for a ball. Second inning, Red Sox batting. No score against the Blue Jays. Roger Clemens had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. What a crazy win Boston had last night.
Oh, unbelievable. Beating the Blue Jays 7-6 with 2 in the bottom of the 9th. Base hit by Jeff Stone to win that. His first hit, his first at bat for the Boston Red Sox.
Roberts is there. Charlton hit it hard. The inning is over. The Reds have 3 hits. They've left 3. We've played 2. No score. There's the bridge to Covington, Kentucky. A lot of Kentuckians come to support the Cincinnati Reds. And Gary Templeton leads off and takes ball 1 from Norm Charlton. Templeton has 9 home runs. He's been a fixture at shortstop for the Padres for quite a while now, and there's a strike. He's a switch hitter, 1 of 3 they have in their lineup today. Templeton's 14th year in the big leagues. 2-1. Sometimes it almost looks like Templeton plays possum up there, like he's never swung a bat before, and then he springs into action. That ball's hit deep to center. Winningham is at the track and has it. 1 out. The ball hit 400 feet away, but caught.
Too much hang time. Cincinnati Reds know where they are in the standings, and Herm Winningham knew where he was on this catch. Watch him check the fence right there. Knows he has room and makes a play. The Reds outfield, an excellent defensive outfield. They can throw 6 good outfielders out there, not at once, of course.
And it brings up Whitson. He's had 10 hits this year.
45 assists for the Reds outfield and 10 errors, the fewest errors and the most assists in the major leagues.
They have some good ones on the bench today. Eric Davis and Billy Hatcher. Count 1-1 to Whitson. He gets his swings. He has 1 home run. Bounces it to Larkin. Tua. Join CBS tomorrow. Coverage of the National Football League continues. It starts at 12:30 Eastern with the last word before kickoff on the NFL Today. And most of the country will see the 3-0 Bears against the 3-0 Raiders. Those are the other regional games. Check your local listing for the game and time in your area. That's the Bears at the Raiders tomorrow on CBS. Rather surprising. Raiders and Bears to be undefeated here at this time of year. Art Shell has done a wonderful job, and Mike Ditka's cranked his team up again.
Things are a little more settled in Los Angeles, too, with the Raiders staying in Los Angeles. Update on the Pittsburgh Pirates, a home run by Sid Bream. 4-0 Pirates. That game in the bottom of the 8th, and also in the bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Cubs over Mets.
So DeCenzo hurt the Mets. Here's 2 balls and a strike to Bip Roberts, who fanned his first time. He was called out on strikes, perhaps you recall. He's batting with 2 out and the base is empty. And a foul out of play. Keeps the Bipper up there.
If the Pittsburgh Pirates win and the New York Mets lose, the magic number drops to 1, and then it's a situation where the Mets have to win tomorrow and the Pirates have to lose for those games in Pittsburgh to mean anything.
2-2 to Roberts, 2 out. Yeah, it could be over before the Mets go to Pittsburgh Monday. National League East, the Pirates have 4. 1 in St. Louis, 3 at home against New York, and the Mets 1 more game at home, and then 3 in Pittsburgh. Another foul by Roberts. 2-2. And Dana DeMuth, the plate umpire. A new one to the mound is Charlton. Charlton has set down the last 3. No score. We're in the 3rd. And another foul. This pitcher, the graduate of Rice University, Charlton, he had a triple major. So I know he's smarter than I am.
Poli-sci, religion, and phys ed. That's why he has a liberal strike zone.
Liberal education. He's educating the batters. There's a base hit for Bip Roberts with 2 out. So San Diego has had 1 hit in each inning. And Charlton certainly wants to get this next batter. That'll be Joey Cora. He wants to get him before they get around to Jack Clark. He'd prefer to have Clark leading off in the 4th inning. Cora batting .286 at the start of the day. He's another little fellow like Bip Roberts. He's 5'8", 150 from Puerto Rico. Roberts is going. He got a late jump, and he's out. He comes up howling. He thought he was safe. We'll take a look at that later, perhaps. No runs, 1 hit, out stealing. The inning's over. We'll return to Riverfront Stadium after this word from your local station.
An excellent jump on first base. See right there when he went back on that left foot and then got his momentum going forward. And he is just out at second base. I'll tell you, that's a dust call right there. When that dust goes up, it's tough for an umpire to make that call. You can't tell whether that hand's in there or not. And the Reds got a favorable call.
A dust call.
Old dust call, yeah.
Here, the bouncing foul off the bat of the leadoff hitter, Herb Winningham. There was a quick tag by Larkin, and that certainly helps on those plays down at second. It will be Winningham, O'Neill, and Larkin in the Cincinnati third, no score. Now there is 1 out. Clark unassisted. Well, let's visit with Pat O'Brien over in New York. What do you have for us, Pat?
Well, Jack, you wonder how Roger Clemens is doing? Here's a clue. He gets Greg Myers to hit into a double play. That ends the second. Clemens hasn't given up a hit yet. 0-0. Let's go back to you guys. Jack and Tim.
And we have a scoreless game here also with 1 out in the Cincinnati third. The batter is O'Neill, and he hits it foul. Both of these pitchers are pitching well. O'Neill singled his first time. An infield hit to the right side. As you can see, he's done well against the Padres this year. He has power to the opposite field. An off-speed pitch makes it strike 2.
And that's that changeup or palm ball that Whitson throws. You could see O'Neill committed with that front side, and once you commit with the front side, you're dead.
0-2, ball 1. 3 hits for each glove. San Diego has hit into a double play and lost a runner stealing. Reds have standed 3. Cincinnati got only 1 run in losing last night. That ball is going to be a foul ball. And it stays 1-2. Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, appears to be about 28 or 30,000 on hand. We have rain forecast for this evening in the city. Tim McCarver and Jack Buck with you. Cincinnati trying to clinch it here today, and 1 victory will do that for them. We're in the bottom of the third, no score, 1 ball, 2 strikes on. O'Neill with 1 out. Each team has had men on base in each half inning till now. Now the play by O'Neill, and he has to protect that plate. Well, barring a playoff in the National League East, it all starts in the National League playoff on Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the Western City, and probably here in Cincinnati, but it's not certain yet. Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. O'Neill not getting many good swings against Whitson here, just protecting the plate and waiting for Whitson to make a mistake.
If the Mets go into Pittsburgh on Monday night and they are tied with the Pirates, there can't be a they can be a tie if the Mets win 3 in a row.
Off-speed breaking ball, and O'Neill hit that one foul.
It can also be a tie if the Mets are a game behind the Pirates. Of course, that can only happen if Pittsburgh loses today and the Mets win, and the same thing happens tomorrow. Or there can be a tie if the Mets are 3 games back. But if they're 2 games back, somebody's got to win it.
Something's got to give. Here's the pitch in the dirt, 2-2. And of course, if there is a playoff, that will be at Pittsburgh, a 1-game playoff between the Mets and the Pirates.
Thursday afternoon. Slider inside. Not went the back door on that one. Occasionally, a catcher that has worked well with the pitching staff over a long period of time will call that slider and then move to the outside. And what happens is a left-handed hitter will give up on that pitch. He wants the fastball away now.
Pitch goes low, and O'Neill is having a good at-bat, a full count of 3-2, and Lou Piniella hoping that O'Neill can get on base with 1 out. 3-2. Change-up and another foul. He can't get rid of Paul O'Neill. sometime we can watch Benito Santiago throw before the day's over.
He wants the slider again.
And he got him on the pop fly to Cora, the second baseman. And there are 2 out, and Larkin will bat. A Pirate update from Pat O'Brien in New York.
All right, Jack, at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Pirates continue to roll. Top of the 7th, Sid Bream with a solo home run to lead off the 7th inning. It is now 5-0. The Pirates' magic number is 3. Back to Jack and Tim.
So Pittsburgh doing it, and they have Doug Drabek poised to pitch tomorrow. And the Mets were losing last we saw. Larkin bunted his way on his first time. Bats with 2 out, and the base is empty. We talked at the start that the Reds would have their hands full with this pitcher today, Whitson. That turns out to be the case. Good swing and a foul ball, 1-1. Larkin has 7 home runs. Comes from quite an athletic family. One of his brothers, a basketball player who aspires to the NBA. It's foul outside third. 1-2.
Larkin also went to the same high school, attended by Ken Griffey Jr., Buddy Bell, Bill Long, a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, Lynn Matuzik, formerly a major league player, Moeller High School. High school coached by Jerry Faust, the former coach of the Notre Dame football team.
Famous high school for sports. Pitch low and away, 2-2 to Larkin. Len Matuzik, whom you mentioned, is in the television business here in Cincinnati. 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd, no score. Full count of 3-2. No Eric Davis for Cincinnati today. He ran into a wall the other night, injured his shoulder. He's not in the dugout, or we'd show him to you. He's probably getting treatment in the clubhouse, trying to get ready for the playoffs, if the Reds make it. He missed with an off-speed pitch. That's the first walk of the day, and it puts Larkin on with 2 out. Larkin has stolen 28, but you don't run with abandon against this catcher. Look at Santiago loosening up. Boy, he can throw.
Oh, man. We've said that, and that was not overstatement before the game. Best throwing arm I've ever seen.
When you
can throw from his knees or standing up.
And you consider, there he goes, Larkin. From his knees he throws, but Larkin steals it. It was an excellent throw, but Larkin had a big start.
Big jump by Larkin, but look at Santiago. Well, I'll tell you, for someone who struggled with their throwing, and I did that during my career, you talk about envy. You're green with envy when you see a guy throwing from his knees when you were throwing for 20 years from your feet. Man, what an arm.
Strike 1 to Hal Morris. That ball's fair. Cincinnati takes the lead here in the 3rd inning.
Are trained, if they can't catch the ball with 2 out and a runner at second, at least try to knock it down. Jack Clark tries to do that. This ball just inside the line, and Hal Morris drives in his 35th run of the year in his 100th at bat. 22nd double now for Morris. Great production from the rookie.
A walk, a stolen base, and an RBI double with 2 out. Remember that 3-2 off-speed pitch that Whitson threw?
Yep.
I bet he'd like to have that one back. And the ball just fair to put the Reds on top. Chris Sabo with that runner at second, 2 out. Sabo grounded to short his first time. Very aggressive hitter. He'll swing at anything around that strike zone like that. That's strike 2. and did some running. You heard from a while ago. He'll be smiling at the Reds clinch it. Oh, and 2. Ball 1. And the on-deck hitter is Glenn Braggs, who is a platooning outfielder. Eric Davis playing left field these days when he's healthy for Cincinnati. 2 and 2. So Cincinnati jumps on top here in the third, 1-0. They about hit the Padres 4-3, and Piniella would like more. 2 and 2 to Sabo. Homered here last night. Shortstop Templeton gets it. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. Cincinnati's left 4, but after 3, they're on top, 1-0. They're 6 innings away from winning it. Driven in a run, the Reds lead 1-0 after 3, and 50 years from now, this kid will say, I was there back in 1990.
I was at the clincher, huh?
I was there when they nailed it down.
His dad is hoping that's the case.
4th inning, Cora was at the plate when Bip Roberts was out stealing to end the San Diego third. This batter grounded as short his first time. He's from Caugas, Puerto Rico. He corks the ball high in the air and a play for the catcher, Jeff Reed. 1 out. And the pitcher, Norm Charlton, likes that because he can now pitch with the bases empty to Jack Clark.
Norm Charlton, after 39 relief appearances, has become a starter. He had a rough outing his last outing, but boy, he has really filled the bill for the Reds. Tell you, sometimes if you make a starting pitcher out of a long reliever, it's through necessity. Wasn't the case with Charlton. The Reds had an excellent pitching staff. Danny Jackson went down, and then Charlton came in. Stan Williams, the pitching coach of the Cincinnati Reds, and what a job he's done. The Reds, as a team, second in the National League in earned run average at 3.38.
Ball 1 to Jack Clark, and over but low ball 2.
Montreal leading the National League. I should say Cincinnati in second at 3.42. Montreal with a 3.38. And Pittsburgh and New York tied for third. Now that's important because Cincinnati, as a team, has not led the National League in earned run average since 1940. 50 years.
Clark, the batter, he's taking all away, and he took it low for ball 3.
The only other team not to lead the National League in earned run average in those years, the San Diego Padres, even though the Padres didn't come in until 1969.
Here's walk 101 to Jack Clark. 101 walks this year. And at the plate is a fellow who could erase the 1-0 Cincinnati lead in a blink. Joe Carter. Hit back to the pitcher his first time. He's hit 24 home runs. With 1 out, the Reds want the double play. Carter played in every game this year. He got off to a slow start when he came over to the National League from Cleveland. Charlton gets ahead on the count. We haven't seen many blistering pitches from Charlton today. He can throw in the 90s. At least none that have caught my eye. 1 on, 1 out. Up and in.
There was one. Speed's overrated anyway. People talk about 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. That's way down the ladder in getting hitters out. You don't blow major league hitters away. Location, movement, staying ahead, those techniques more important than velocity. You know, the guy's got to have a good arm. He's got to be able to throw around 90. That seems to be the gauge. Got to be resilient, durable, and all that. But if you stay out there and try to blow hitters away, major league hitters, they'll eventually catch up to that fastball. Unless, of course, you're a young Nolan Ryan or somebody like that. Koufax, Gibson.
1 and 2. 2 and 2. Look from high above here at Riverfront Stadium. 1 on, 1 out. That's low. Ball 3, 3-2, and this crowd gets a little restless after the walk to Clark and a 3-2 count on the batter. Jack Clark has stolen only 3 bases. Are they going to start him?
I would think so. Carter, a contact hitter. You don't need a fast runner at first base with the count 3-2 or in a hit-and-run situation. That's not one of the necessary elements you think about. It's up to the hitter to put the ball in play, preferably on the ground.
Runner going. And a fly ball into right. O'Neill having trouble on that one. It gets down. Foul. Foul ball. Foul ball. Foul ball. Foul ball. O'Neill wasn't sure, so he did the right thing and kept playing the ball, but the right field umpire made the call, and the batter is protesting down there.
And you know what? Rob Pichilot, the first base coach, and Joe Carter, they weren't sure either.
It was out of our view as it landed down in the right field corner.
Carter landed on first. He wanted to be in a good position to make the call, too, even though his call doesn't count. Look at Joe. Look at him look to see where the ball lands. And he's thinking that ball's a double at least. Whoa, he's saying Eric. Eric Gregg, the first base umpire, called it foul.
And apparently had a good look at it. He was very definitive with his call. And let's see if Clark goes again.
He'll go.
There he goes. And another foul. Keeps it 3-2, 1 out, 4th inning, 1-0 Cincinnati. Second base umpire down there told Carter as he was running, hold up, foul ball. And he said, are you kidding me? We couldn't see it from up here. Jack Clark walked with 1 out. To play this hitter straight away, the runner going, and a foul back here. This batter does have power to all fields.
I'll tell you, if this keeps up, though, Jack Clark is going to weigh his number.
0-0.
Yeah. 3-2. You want the hitter to put it in play. You're glad he made contact, but you have to keep retreating back to first base. You're saying, come on, Joe, put it in play somewhere, man.
Hit the ball. Joe Carter with Cleveland last year had 35 home runs. 24 this year for the Padres. Runner going, struck him out. He missed him, and a stolen base for Clark, his 4th of the year.
When catchers are throwing from a 3-2 position, they're inclined to stay back more because they want the strike. They want to get the batter. Consequently, that's a pitch that Jeff Reed might have been going out on normally. But the reason that he was reticent, he wanted the strike, and his reluctance to come firing out of there, probably the reason Clark steals the base.
And Reed's throw was a little short at second base.
Yeah.
Larkin caught it in front of the base. Now a base hit would tie it. Benito Santiago drove in the winner here last night in a 2-1 game to beat the Reds. But he's 0 for 7 against this pitcher during his career. Ball 1.
Jeff Reed on that pitch, that 3-2 pitch, he's staying back because, number one, he wants the strike. And now the swing, almost interference by Joe Carter. But it wasn't interference, and Jack Clark has his 4th stolen base of the year.
And Carter is 0 for 2. Thought he had a double earlier. Ball 1 the count to the batter, and Charlton steps off, takes the throw. They have a base open. They can afford to pitch carefully to Santiago. Aaron Jackson, a lesser hitter, is waiting to bat next with 2 out. Off-speed pitch drops in 1-1. The Cincinnati fans don't want the Reds to give up their 1-0 lead, which they enjoy here in the 4th.
1-0 breaking ball to Santiago freezes him. A lot of times you can think right along with the pitcher. You think first base is open, kind of call the pitches with him, especially if you're a catcher who's hitting.
What a big swing that was. 1-2.
Santiago probably knowing that in this situation he may think about pitching around himself, airing it out. That ball out of the strike zone up.
Santiago now lives in San Diego. They wanted him to become more of a part of this team and more of a leader. He's had a better year this year than last. He chased it and struck out. Third strikeout for Charlton. A walk and one left. Padres have left two, lost a man stealing, hit into a double play, and still trail 1-0. Bottom of the fourth inning. No, so he's just cranking it up, getting treatment, and hoping that he'll be ready for the playoff if and when. So Glenn Braggs, playing in his stead in left field, leads it off here in the bottom of the fourth. Flied to right his first time.
Talking to Eric in the clubhouse before the game, he said the left wall is padded. He said, but it's only about 2 inches thick. It's like running into steel.
He hit it hard and scared the daylights out of everybody over here in Cincinnati. A ball and a strike.
You know, if Braggs did the same thing, I think I'd bet on Braggs instead of the wall. He's built more like Fort Bragg.
And he didn't get that low pitch from Whitson. Nobody on or out in the bottom of the fourth. The Reds leading 1-0. Whitson ahead on the count. Braggs laid off 2-2. You're always reminded how difficult it is when these players change leagues for both hitters and pitchers. That's the third strikeout for Ed Whitson. That play last Thursday night against Atlanta. Eric Davis chasing, and look how hard he was running, and plunk, he bounced off that wall, and that's what scared the Cincinnati folks and Lou Piniella.
Fortunately for the Reds, it was his left shoulder. Larry Starr, the trainer, out, and Eric will be able to play in the playoffs. It's sore, but no damage to the tendon, bone, whatever.
Jeff Reed is up for the Reds. He fanned his first time. Whitson pitching well, but he gave up a run in the third inning. Whitson has allowed 4 base hits plus a walk. There's a strike call by Dana Demuth. 2-1. Low to Reed. 3-1. This batter is hitting .262. He's the sort of hitter that Whitson wants to make hit the ball. Dodgers and Giants scoreless in the fourth. Reed pops it up into short center. Here comes, well, out goes the second baseman. 2 out. Let's go to Pat O'Brien in New York for a report.
Jack, speaking of running into walls, top of the third, Toronto threatening. Junior Felix at bat, hits it to left, a man on first. Mike Greenwell to the wall, but he hits the scoreboard there, and that hurts. He's okay now. Clemens still has his shutout. He's thrown 50 pitches, though. They're scoreless in the third. Back to Jack and Tim.
How about that? Greenwell, Green Monster.
And the Monster won. Here is a strike to the batter, Mariano Duncan. Singled his first time. Bats with 2 out. We mentioned this before. Whitson would like to get him to have Charlton leading off in the 5th. Duncan was a torrid hitter in the early part of the year. Nobody could get him up. Came over from the Dodgers. And down he goes on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout for Whitson's. Retired 4 in a row. We played 4 innings. 1-0 Cincinnati.
It's that special time of year.
Presents Major League Baseball. Today's game is brought to you by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. The U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. And by DuPont, better things for better living.
Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati started the day with a magic number of 1. And what has transpired thus far in the contest, Norm Charlton on the mound, and he has limited the Padres to 3 hits plus a walk. Padres have left 2, and then Al Morris had a 2-out double to drive in the only run of this game. Here is a swing and a miss by the batter, Darren Jackson. The Reds are 5 outs away from winning the West. Jackson singled his first time. And takes a ball. Both pitchers quite effective this afternoon. And a bunt goes foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson, Pagliarulo, and Templeton in the San Diego 5th inning. The Mets have lost their game to the Cubs. The magic number goes down to 2. DeCenzo with a big Chicago hit. The Pirates are winning and trying to send the number down to 1. They're ahead 8-0 in the 8th inning. 1 means they'll clinch at least a tie. So Pittsburgh, if they win today, could clinch it tomorrow with either a victory or a New York loss. A high pop fly on the infield. Larkin wants it.
Only run of this ball game scored. Barry Larkin was on second base with 2 outs in the 3rd inning when Hal Morris doubled just inside the line. You see the diving Jack Clark, and Larkin scores, the only scoring in this game thus far.
Larkin had walked on a 3-2 pitch. He swiped second. And Morris drove him home in the 3rd inning. Now we're in the 5th. The leadoff man is gone. Pagliarulo strike 1. He hit into a double play started by the pitcher his first time. And at the moment it appears that Norm Charlton has things well in hand. And a foul.
Talking to Lou Piniella about what pitcher he would start on Thursday. Probably Jose Rijo, who is pitching tomorrow. And then maybe Norm Charlton in game 2. And then said with a sly wink, unless I decide to put Charlton in the bullpen. That's where he started this year.
Then Danny Jackson pitched very well for the Reds the last time out. So their pitching is getting stronger at the right time.
And you've got Tom Browning. And I think by putting Charlton in the bullpen, you can left, right, left the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Breaking ball got him, struck him out. Look at that umpire with a left-handed call. He struck him out. That's the 4th strikeout for the left-hander.
Curveball really stays inside to Pagliarulo, but whenever you get a hitter to bend the legs, those are called jelly legs. Whenever you get jelly legs on a hitter, you got him.
So there are 2 out here in the 5th. Templeton is coming up now. He hit a ball 400 feet, but out his first time.
Get back to that Pittsburgh game now with Charlton in the bullpen. You've got Charlton, Rob Dibble, and Randy Myers, the 3 nasty boys. They started off in the bullpen.
Can Larkin get it? Yes, he does. Down in order, Padres. Now the Reds are 4 innings away from winning the West. They lead here 1-0.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
There, taking over for the deposed Jack McKeon, who was the manager when the season started for the Padres. And he did not take over a happy situation here in San Diego. Team picked by many to win the National League West, and they're going to finish in the 2nd division.
You're right. A lot of people picked him. And he's lost Tony Gwynn, and there have been a lot of stories about bickering in the clubhouse involving Tony Gwynn. I find that so hard to imagine. I find him to be one of the most exemplary gentlemen that I've ever met.
Absolutely. I think most people feel the same thing. Criticized by a couple of teammates in May, and the problem exacerbated, irritated, to the point where after Gwynn broke his finger, he thought that a doll that was hung up on the dugout had something to do with it. A doll that was put up as a joke by the Atlanta Braves, and it was taken out of the Atlanta dugout and actually put into the San Diego dugout. Tony thought one of his teammates did it, and a ground crew member has already admitted doing it. They asked Tony to come back in. He made some disparaging remarks about his teammates in the paper. They asked him to come back, apologize, and he only has 3 more days to do it. And that's when the San Diego Padres play in Los Angeles Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Here's a leadoff walk to the pitcher, Norm Charlton. Second walk by Ed Whitson.
Tony, on the other hand, is saying, apologize. Apologize for what? It is a strange situation, and very few people that we've talked with can explain it intelligently.
But Greg Riddock says, let us get started next year all together. I'll be the manager. He has another year in his contract. We'll get these things squared away. Winningham is 0 for 2. A walk to the pitcher usually leads to some nasty things. Off-speed pitch is bunted foul. Leadoff walk to Norm Charlton. He fouled off that 3-2 pitch. And then Whitson walked him. That's strange for him because Ed doesn't walk many. Winningham, not a power hitter. He does have 3 home runs. He might try to move them along. The Reds are leading 1-0, bottom of the 5th. He's trying to sacrifice, takes the ball, 1-1.
Say you talk half in jest, but mostly you talk seriously about a pitcher wearing a warm-up jacket when he's got to be bunted over to second base. It slows you down. It's an 80-degree day. I've never really understood how pitchers can wear warm-up jackets on 75-plus days. They pitch without them.
There's a bunt foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Winningham upset that he didn't get it down fair. There's the owner of the Cincinnati Reds, Marge Sept. She's hoping that today is the day.
See, Marge doesn't have a jacket on.
No.
Of course, she's not a pitcher either.
The general manager is Bob Quinn, and he's hoping that he wins for the first time in the major leagues. Quinn from a wonderful baseball family. There's Marge giving an autograph to a youngster. Leadoff man is on, and he's out on strikes. Winningham bunts foul. He's out. And he's 0 for 3, and that's the 5th strikeout for Ed Whitson.
Hey, the last couple of years, more managers in baseball put on the 2-strike sacrifice than in past years. I mean, Herm Winningham, a pretty good hitter, batting .266. I think this is a bad play. I never have like this. Now, with the pitcher, it's different. But you've got a regular player up there, left-hander against a right-handed pitcher. That's a bad play.
O'Neill is the batter. He is singled 1 for 2. Ball 1 to him. Whitson trying to pitch out of this mild jam, which he created by walking Norm Charlton.
Think of that 2-strike bunch. You've got to get it fair, and if you get it fair, it's probably going to be too hard. Back to the pitcher, and you got a pitcher running on base.
Look out, you're gone. Santiago from one knee whipped it down there, and Charlton, a little too frisky, is picked off.
Probably his jacket that caused that. Good throw by Santiago right there. We talked about how swiftly and strongly he throws from his knees. Charlton, all he had to do was take 1 step, and he's nailed by 1.5 feet. What an arm.
You have to be careful when that guy is behind the plate. 2 out now. And O'Neill makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Reds have left 4, had 1 picked off. Boy, that guy could throw.
Said it before. He throws from his knees and prays standing up.
1 and 2. And a ball up the middle is a base hit. Runner at first, 2 out, and Pat O'Brien in New York takes over.
All right, Jack, here's the final out at Shea. The Mets have lost to the Chicago Cubs. What that means today is Pittsburgh continues to roll in St. Louis. And if Pittsburgh wins, it looks like they're going to, their magic number will be 1 at the end of this day. Let's go back to Jack.
And that's the way it started here with the Reds number 1. O'Neill has singled with 2 out. The batter, Barry Larkin. He's been on base twice with a bunt single, a walk, a stolen base, and he has scored the only run of this game. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Larkin might be trying to go for the pump here. He's capable of it. He's hit 7 home runs. O'Neill, the runner at first, has stolen 13 bases. Ball 1. 1 from Whitson.
If Pittsburgh beats the Cardinals, the Mets and Pirates are down to, if the Pirates lose 5 games in a row and the Mets win 5 games in a row, then the Mets win it. That's the way it's got to be if Pittsburgh 5. Sunday, 3 games in Pittsburgh, and Thursday.
Here the pitch inside to the batter, Barry Larkin.
So in order for the Mets to win it, they not only have to win the remaining 4 games left in the season, but win on Thursday, too, in Pittsburgh.
You got it. So an almost impossible chore for the New York Mets. On at first, O'Neill with 2 out. On 2-0, Larkin took a strike, 2-1. Cincinnati scored this game's only run in the 3rd. Larkin, at whom you're looking, walked, stole second, rode home on a double by Hal Morris. Santiago changed this inning around by picking a runner off in his frame. Larkin hits it to short to Templeton. Force out. The Reds lose a runner, leave a runner. They've left 5. We've played 5. Reds lead 1-0.
In his home state of Georgia, Glenn Davis provides for abused children something he didn't have: a childhood filled with love and care. By helping these children feel the thrill of life, Glenn Davis is batting 1,000, and we salute him.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Mike Swanson, the PR director of the San Diego Padres, informs us that Santiago now has 5 pickoffs of runners, opposing runners, of course, this year. 3 at first, all 5 from the knees.
Well, he can throw. He's fun to watch, whether you're rooting for him or against him. Here's a strike to the pitcher, Whitson, leading off. Santiago. Remember, the all-star team couldn't play because of that broken arm. Here's a bouncer to short, and Larkin will throw to get Whitson 1 out.
MVP, who do you like? Barry Bonds? Well, he also has 50-plus stolen bases. Or do you like Bobby Bonilla? Not as high in average, but he's matched Bonds in home runs and RBIs. What about Darryl Strawberry? More home runs, not as high in average, not as many RBIs. And Ryan Sandberg leading the National League in home runs with 39 and 97 RBIs.
A lot of people will have a lot of different ideas as to who should win it. Bip Roberts takes a strike from Charlton, who's set down 6 in a row. Roberts has struck out, singled without stealing. A little cloudy here, and we understand some rain might be on the way. There's strike 2. If I were forced to make a selection, and I don't vote, the writers are the one who vote, I'd go for Bonilla with all of his RBIs.
Really?
No,
what about Barry Bonds?
Yeah, I meant to say Bonds. I'll go along with whatever you say.
I think speed. We talked about it last week. I think speed.
Ooh. That Hoyt. Bip Roberts is drilled with 1 out by Charlton on an 0-2 count. We had the speed of the pitch timed at 85 miles an hour, and it really thumped the little guy, Bip Roberts. That Hoyt.
Well, Norm Charlton and Rob Dibble have the reputations of pitching tight. Pitching tight and then pitching too tight, 2 different things. Norm Charlton incited a very serious fight against the Philadelphia Phillies earlier this year. Dennis Cook hitting Charlton in the 6th inning. Both Finches unloading. And this ball, a ball that Roberts had no chance to get out of the way of. And you know Charlton's not trying to hit him. The count's 0-2. You got to pitch inside, but once you have that reputation of pitching inside, then everything, anytime you hit a batter, you're suspect of doing it intentionally.
That's only the 4th man he's hit all season. Puts Roberts on base. Oh, yeah, he'll keep you off the plate. 9th inning, Pirates leading 8-0. Trying to clinch a tie. There's a bunt, and it's a good one. Let's see if Sabo can get the batter. And did not. Joey Cora sets up a big inning for San Diego. 2 on, 1 out. And 2 fast runners on the bases.
Joey Cora taking advantage of a deep Chris Sabo, and by the time Sabo backhands it, the throw is wide. He probably has him if the throw's on the bag. So Joey Cora with a base hit, the 4th Padres hit of the ball game.
2 on, 1 out, and the big man is up for San Diego, and that's Jack Clark. Clark has been on base twice with a single, a walk, and a stolen base. Charlton in a jam. 1-0. The Reds lead here in the 6th inning. Clark took a ball. He's walked 101 times this year, the most in the league. Now time call by the runner down at second base, tying the shoelace. Pittsburgh has defeated St. Louis 8-0. The Mets lost to the Cubs. The Pirates clinch at least a tie, and they could win it tomorrow with a game at St. Louis or a Met loss against Chicago. Hasn't happened yet, but it's shaping up. Pirates against Cincinnati, with the Reds in trouble here in the 6th. Runners are stealing. Throw to third, too late. Second and third with 1 out. Robert steals number 46, Cora number 7.
All of the elements against Jeff Reed, the catcher. You can see the jump that Roberts has. The throw is low, and Reed's throw really.
Might as well have held the ball.
Put it in your pocket. Keep it, and maybe you can head him off if he rounds third. But they're just too big a jump, and now Jack Clark's going to be walked intentionally, but you got Joe Carter coming up. So really a good play by Roberts and Cora.
This will be the second walk, and there's Joe Carter, who'll be coming up with the bases loaded, 1 out. How's a Boston game coming along, Pat O'Brien?
At Fenway, 4th inning, Toronto threatening, man on second. Greg Myers hits it to Carlos Quintana. He fumbles. Look who comes in. His shutout is saved. It's scoreless in the 4th. Back to Jack and Tim.
So there's no score on the bottom of the 4th at Fenway Park, with the Red Sox starting the day 1 game ahead of Toronto. Well, here's a critical spot in this one. 1-0 Cincinnati. Top of the 6th. Bases loaded and 1 out. Haven't had the ball out of the infield. Hit batsman, a bunt single, and an intentional walk. And a line drive is foul. Well, that would have been 2. The runner at third base is the Bipper, Bip Roberts. Joey Cora down at second, and Jack Clark at first. The batter, Joe Carter. Base and loaded, 1 out. A little crowd support for Charlton. Swinging strike 2.
That's how this inning started. An 0-2 pitch that hit Bip Roberts, and now it's 0-2 to Joe Carter. And we'll see if Charlton goes out of the strike zone right here to try to finish Carter off.
Base is loaded and 1 out. 0-2 the count. Got him. 2 out. 5th strikeout for Charlton. Carter back to the bench, 0 for 3.
It looked like a slider to Carter, either a slider or that split finger. And Charlton's 2/3 of the way out of this inning.
Here, Benito Santiago will beat the Reds last night with a base hit. He's 0 for 2 today. Base hit loaded, 2 out, and these fans are really into it now. The Reds leading 1-0, top of the 6th. Charlton steps off. Santiago is hitting 11 home runs. This first pitch so important with the base hit loaded, 2 out. In the dirt, ball 1.
Good play by Reed. Sometimes a catcher almost has to become a third baseman back there or a first baseman. Watch the scoop here by Jeff Reed. Good play.
And ball one to Benito. The Reds are 3 innings and 1 out away from winning the West. Base hit loaded, 2 out here. 1-1. Off-speed pitch. There are a lot of pitchers who possess good off-speed pitches, but they won't use them in a jam. Charlton just did. See that 30 on the cap of Charlton? That's a salute to Ken Griffey Sr., who left this club a while ago. Base hit loaded, 2 out. 1-1 the count. Santiago takes ball 2, 2-1. Well, this is when baseball is really great with a one-on-one situation. There's Scott Scudder warming up in case Charlton can't do the job here. Base hit loaded, 2 out, 2 balls and a strike. He wants to come to him here. Doesn't want to run it to 3-1. 2-2.
He has fallen behind twice to Santiago and come back once with a changeup and now with a fastball.
Santiago doesn't mind that outside pitch. He'll go with it. He can hit it out to the opposite field. Listen to this crowd roar. 1-0 Reds. 6th inning. Base hit loaded. 2 out. 2-2. Three and 2. And now the runners will go. Roberts will lead away from third.
Got to stretch now. If you're Charlton, he's going to wind up. That gives the runner at first an extra break. Same thing with the runner at second. He should be stretching here.
3 and 2, 2 out. Base hit loaded. And the runners are off and running. Ball 4, and we're tied. Charlton didn't want to give in to the hitter, and the run scores on the base hit loaded walk, and still the ball hasn't left the infield. As Bip Roberts scores and the air goes out of the crowd here, it's 1-1 in the 6th. Still the base hit loaded. And the batter, Darren Jackson. He was stubborn. He was a stubborn pitcher. Tried to catch the corner. Didn't give in. See what happens now. And a hit. And now the Reds trail. Clark's trying to score. Braggs throws. He is out at the plate. But San Diego takes a 2-1 lead. A great throw by Glenn Braggs.
The Reds execute this perfectly. A strong throw by Braggs and a slap tag by Reed.
We'll return to Riverfront Stadium after this word from your local station. San Diego's on top 2-1.
Darren Jackson puts the Padres ahead with this base hit, but the Reds do everything right on this defensive play. Sabo getting in position to cut the ball off. Braggs charging the ball, and watch how he hits the cutoff man. Sabo capable of cutting it off, and Jeff Reed with the slap tag on the sliding Clark. Really a terrific play in fundamental baseball by the Reds right there, even though the Padres have the lead.
Padres lead 2-1. Nothing unusual about the Reds throwing people out. There's Glenn Braggs, who cut that throw loose with a dandy. He's helped them a lot this week. Al Morris leads it off and hits it to second, where Cora scoops it up. 1 out in the home half of the 6th, and this crowd is deflated here.
It's a good point about Braggs, because you mentioned his home run earlier. He threw out Bip Roberts from left field last night. The night before, Eric Davis threw out a runner from left field. 3 straight games have the Reds thrown out runners by their left fielders. 46 assists for the Reds outfielders, leads the major leagues.
Sabo, usually a first ball hitter, takes strike 1 from Ed Whitson. There's Piniella. Had a 1-0 lead after 3. Trails 2-1 here in the 6th. And a pop-up. That'll be the second out. A foul ball. Cagliarulo has it 2 out. Cagliarulo takes care of Chris Sabo. The Reds haven't scored a lot of runs lately. They dropped the game here last night 2-1. This is a great time to talk about the integrity of baseball. Here are the Padres in the middle of the pack. Though victory does nothing for them. They don't want the Reds to clinch it at their expense. That goes double for the pitcher, Ed Whitson. He misses low, ball 1. The hits are even at 5 apiece. In the 6th, the Padres got 2 runs on 2 hits and left 1. Curveball drops in. 1-1. We're watching a very clever pitcher today, Ed Whitson. 113, lost 9. Braggs, a part-time player, has 6 home runs. He takes it low, 2-1. 5 hits for each club. We're at Riverfront Stadium. Nothing shaking for Cincinnati. They trailed 2-1, 2 out in the bottom of the 6th, and another strike from Whitson makes it 2-2. If Cincinnati wins today, they will clinch the Western Division, or they'll also clinch it if the Dodgers lose their game. 2-2. Fastball, and it's fair. He'll get a couple. That's all with 2 out. That's the tying run at second. Big hit for Glenn Braggs.
Well, Braggs is so strong that he can overpower the ball. He doesn't extend the arms here. He hits the ball back over the plate and just smokes it down the right field line. He is so strong, similar to a lot of muscle-bound players who can't pull the ball but do have good power the other way.
Now the catcher, Benito, goes out to talk with Whitson. With Braggs at second, 2 out, tying run, and the batter is Jeff Reed. The number 8 hitter will follow Reed. Let's see if they let Reed hit the ball. He's 0 for 2. There's Rob Dibble cranking it up. Off-speed pitch, sails low and away, ball 1. Padres 2 in the top of the 6th, and they lead it 2-1. Ball 2. Red Sox break on top in the 5th on Brunansky's home run, 1-0 over the Blue Jays. How are the Dodgers doing? They trail the Giants 4-1, so no matter what happens here, Cincinnati might clinch it on this day. There's a strike to Reed. Nothing doing in the San Diego bullpen. Whitson is on his own. He's had men on base in every inning except 1. He's allowed 5 hits, and he's walked a couple. He walked the pitcher and got away with that. That's the tying run. Lou Piniella would like to see that runner home to roost. Off-speed pitch in for a strike, 2-2, and the crowd behind home plate didn't like the call, or did he say he swung? Yes, he did. That's what Dana DeMuth, the plate umpire, said. A little heat from the Cincinnati dugout.
Red hot.
The Reds aren't so hot with regard to the run scoring lately. And they're playing today without Eric Davis. Here's ball 3, 3-2. They have that base open.
Yeah, but see, if you walk Reed, if you end up walking Reed, you got Bill Doran sitting on the bench. Even though Duncan has not done well against right-handed pitching this year, I think you ought to go after Jeff Reed right here. Make him be the one that gets the hit to tie it.
3-2 the count, 2 out. Whitson steps off. There's Eric Davis on the bench today with a sore shoulder. 3-2 pitch popped up into right field and chased by Jackson. And a fair ball as it was caught. The inning is over. The Reds leave one. They've stranded 6, and after 6, they trail 2-1.
Also, an update on the injuries to the Giants' Lawrence Taylor and the Bears' Neil Anderson. Join us tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time for the NFL Today.
After today's game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. Chevrolet will then donate $1,000 in the player's behalf to the Special Olympics. Greg Harris down in the bullpen for the Padres. As Ed Whitson has worked the first 6, and they might pinch hit in this inning. Pagliarulo leads it off in the 7th, 2-1 Padres. And strike 1 from Charlton. Charlton forced home a run with a base-hit loaded walk in the 6th, and then Darren Jackson got a base hit and put the Padres on top. 1-1. San Diego won it last night here, 2-1. They lead 2-1 in the 7th. Charlton has 1 complete game out of 15 starts. And Pagliarulo got all of that one. It's back at the track and the wall, and a home run. Pagliarulo, his 5th home run of the year. Left-hander against left-hander, and that makes it 3-1. That was a Yankee Stadium stroke on that one.
That's only the 5th home run that Norm Charlton has given up to a left-handed batter, and boy, was it a hanger. That ball just stayed there and said, hit me. A breaking ball. 3rd home run for Pagliarulo against left-handed pitching. So 3 of his 5 have been home runs against lefties.
He got that one.
Well, this curveball just stays right up in that sweet spot for a hitter.
Gary Templeton, the batter, and it's 2-0 to him.
We talked about hangers earlier, that a hanger could be one of several pitches. And that was a breaking ball that indeed just hung right up there.
If you look at that San Diego bench, you wouldn't know that they're out of the pennant race. They have a lot of pride, and they're demonstrating it here today as they did last night. It's now a 3-1 lead in the 7th inning. And a strike. I know you'll find most of these fans in this stadium will say, oh, the Reds have it won. They've got it won. But don't try to tell that to the players or the manager or the coaching staff. A bouncing ball to Larkin. That's the first out here in the 7th inning, and Pat O'Brien has something for us out of New York.
Jack, speaking of home runs at Fenway, Tom Brunansky takes a belt-high Todd Stottlemyre fastball and belts it out and over the wall. The Red Sox lead 1-0 in the 6th. Back to Jack and Jim.
Roger Clemens pitching that game and leading 1-0 on the Brunansky home run. Thanks, Pat. Here's a fly ball by Whitson. Into right, O'Neill. 2 out with a run home here in the 7th. Cincinnati will have their number 8 hitter to lead it off in the bottom of the 7th. So this is undoubtedly the final inning of work for Norm Charlton. Notre Dame a winner. BYU trailing. Michigan way out in front of Maryland. Big Saturday afternoon. Nebraska winning by 10 in the 4th quarter, and Oklahoma by 14 over their Big 8 rival. Bip Roberts is at the plate, and up the road here, the alma mater being beaten by Southern Cal. Bip Roberts trying to go to right, 1-1. This pitcher's problem started when Bip Roberts was hit by a pitch. A no-ball, 2-strike count with 1 out in the 6th. Led to a 2-inning rally for the Padres. Then the Pagliarulo home run here in the 7th, and it's 3-1 San Diego. Charlton with 2 gone. And a foul, 2-2. On the other hand, the last score we saw the Giants ahead of the Dodgers, so the Reds could clinch it in that fashion. It's still 4-1 Giants. There's a hard hit ball past the second baseman, a 2-out hit for Roberts. He's a good little player. He has singled twice and hit by a pitch, stolen a base, scored a run. He told me yesterday he weighs 149.
Think about how valuable he can be. He can start at second, short, third, left field. He's played some center and some right. He is a very, very valuable Padre. And look for him to run right here.
He's stolen 46 bases. The batter is Cora. He has a bunt single, 1 for 3.
One of the things that a base runner will look at when he's facing a left-handed pitcher is whether the right foot goes behind the left leg. That's one of the keys. When it does, the pitcher's committed to go home.
Throw over by Charlotte.
When the right leg goes behind the left leg, then the pitcher is committed to go home. And when he does that, the minute of the toe of the right foot goes behind that left leg, bam, you're gone.
That's Roberts at first, 2 out, and another throw. In that 6th inning, when the Padres pulled off the double steal with Roberts and Cora, they then walked Clark, and that changed the inning considerably. Carter struck out. Benito Santiago walked with the bases loaded, and Darren Jackson got a hit. Tim McCarver mentioned earlier that Charlton does not have a good pickoff move to first, even though he's a left-hander. Roberts trying to get a lead on him. There are 2 out. And a fly ball foul out of play. We're in the top of the 7th. It's 3-1 Padres.
You'll hear those valiant comments about, we want to win the game, and naturally Cincinnati wants to win, but they'll take it if they're in the clubhouse and the Dodgers lose.
Oh, yeah. They call that backing in, but they'll take that.
Yeah, put it in the can. Let's go.
Tense look on the face of Bip Roberts, not going. Ball 1, 1-1.
You saw how Charlton buried his move there. That was the slide step. Earlier, you saw him pick the right foot up, hesitate, and throw to first or come home. That last pitch, he used the slide step coming home.
Some pitchers lose a little something from their delivery when they do that.
Yep.
2 out, 1-1 on the batter. Charlton trying to get out of the 7th. Base hit by Cora. And that might be all for Charlton. First and second, 2 out. The crowd's restless. Here comes Stan Williams, the pitching coach. Stan Williams out to talk with his pitcher, and he's making the change and bringing in Scott Scudder. We're in the top of the 7th. Padres leading 3-1. Charlton leads with 2 on, 2 out.
This relief break is sponsored by Rolaids.
Padres will be facing Scott Scudder. 4-5, no saves. And he's in relief of Norm Charlton. Charlton 6 2/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, struck out 5, walked 3, 1 intentionally, hit 1. Walked a man with the bases loaded, gave up a home run to Pagliarulo here in the 7th. They're 2 on, 2 out for Clark, who's been on base 3 times. And what a swing. He hit a foul out of play. Well, how are the relievers stacked up these days? 55 saves for Thigpen.
Wow.
Plus the wins, losses, blown saves is the other figure in there. Leads Eckersley, and Franco is tops Over Myers of the Cincinnati club. And we have a little rain here in Cincinnati. 2 on, 2 out. What a swing by Clark on that first offering. Breaking ball, strike 2.
Fireman of the Year awards will be presented before Thursday night's opener. We assume Thursday night's opener, barring a tie in the National League East or a tie in the West. They will be presented before the opening playoff game on Thursday night or Friday afternoon in case of a tie.
2 on, 2 out for Clark. He takes the ball. How about that thick pen from St. Petersburg, Florida? 55 saves. He's rewritten the book. The runner at second base is the Bipper, Bip Roberts, and Joey Cora at first. Looks like a little league game with those two runners. 2 on, 2 out. But a big league game with Clark at the plate. High outside, 2-2. The Reds would be happy to get into the bottom of the 7th, trailing 3-1. Their number 8 hitter is due to lead off. So they just want Scudder to get out of this 7th. 2-2, 2 on, 2 out. Breaking ball foul, and Clark hammered it that way. Showed you the figure earlier. He's missed quite a few games this year, but home runs per at-bats, he's tops in the National League.
Cecil Fielder of the Detroit Tigers, the tops in the majors. 1 home run in every 11.1 at-bats. Clark, 1 home run every 13.3 at-bats.
Ball 3, a dandy play by Jeff Reed. He has made some plays.
The Reds blessed with 2 good catchers, Jeff Reed and Joe Oliver. Watch this pick from Reed. Good play.
Now the runners will go. 3-2 with 2 out. Scudder was quickly ahead of Clark, and now it's 3-2. They lose Clark. I have the feeling they fooled around with Joe Carter a little too much today. He'll be next. Runners are on the move. Ball 4. Clark takes the walk, his third of the day, and the bases are loaded. The crowd woke up a little while ago, and now they're awake and restless.
Well, you may think this an insignificant outing for Scott Scudder, but the Reds are only going to carry 9 pitchers for the playoffs, and Scott Scudder is one of the guys that has been alleged to have possibly not make the starting roster when the Reds open Thursday or Friday, as you saw Marge shot.
Base hit loaded, 2 out, and Carter swings and misses. Joe is 0 for 3, and he has struck out twice. He could bust this one wide open here in the 7th inning. Marge shot shaking her head a while ago.
Come on, Marge, smile.
Yeah.
Can't be that bleak.
They're still way out in front. The Reds want to win it today. And a foul. Right back here keeps the count 0-2. Carter has been an effective man with men on base.
We talked about it. We talked about it. 240, but look at that. 243. That leads the majors in RBI opportunities.
And he has the bases loaded, 2 out. Scudder to Carter. Ball 1. Bip Roberts at third base. Joey Cora at second, and Jack Clark at first. Clark's run the bases 4 times today. 3 walks and a hit. The batter, Joe Carter, he's in the hole 1-2. This inning started with a home run by Mike Pagliarulo to make it 3-1 Padres here in the 7th. 1-2 to Carter. And a foul keeps him up there.
The reason the Reds are going to carry 9 pitchers during the playoffs, should they reach the playoffs, is because Terry Lee, the first baseman, right-handed hitter, will be added by Lou Piniella and his staff. Bob Quinn.
Jody Reed will give the sign. This pitcher, Scudder, is from Blossom, Texas. He relieved Charlton, who is from Katy, Texas. Base hit loaded, 2 out. 1-2 the count. And he fouled a bad low pitch. Whistled that one into the seats.
There's Bob Quinn, the general manager of the Cincinnati Reds, to the left of your screen. And Steve Scott, or Steve Schott, I beg your pardon, the son of Marge Schott, the owner of the Reds. Nephew, actually.
Base hit loaded, 2 out. 3-1 Padres. Carter the batter. And another foul. Keeps the count the same. And Reed goes to the mound to talk it over.
We're going to have a little talk after the game, Mr. B.
Why is that?
Don't charge those foul balls. You're reaching out, and I'm gone. Do not want you to reach for foul balls. When they hit your bare hand, they hurt. Trust me on that one.
Well, I start reaching, but then I back off.
You're leaning over. We had you leaning over those foul balls. They hurt when they hit. I promise you.
Okay, I won't. Base hit loaded here. The Padres leading 3-1. It's shaping up as a bad day locally for the Reds.
I'll buy you a ball.
It's the thrill of the competition. Scott Scudder struggling to get out of the 7th. Low, 2-2. And the Giants still leading. Will Clark's driven in 3, 4-2, 7th inning, and the Reds might clinch it because of that. Either way, a Dodger loss or a Cincinnati victory. And the Reds will win the Western Division. Pirates won today. The Mets lost. Pirates have clinched at least a tie. 2-2 pitch coming. 3-2. Well, the Reds have done this 3 different times today. He got ahead of Clark and he lost him. And then Scudder got ahead of Carter, and it's 3-2 now. Will go. Scudder from the stretch. And a ground ball to third. I think he chased ball 4, but the inning is over. 3 left for the Padres. They've left 6. They score another run, and they lead in the middle of the 7th, 3-1.
Jack said it was ball 4. It was indeed ball 4. Look at the height of this fastball from Scudder to Joe Carter.
That would have been another run for the Padres. But they lead it 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. More rain here in Cincinnati, but play continues. Gerald Clark takes over in left field, where Biff Roberts had been playing and will play this game and play it in the rain or whatever. Gerald Clark's in left field. Look how heavy the rain is. Now they send the left fielder Clark over to right field, and they're going to send Darren Jackson into center and Joe Carter into left. But they're all going into the clubhouse, folks. It's scurry time here. Ground crew running into each other. And the Reds sitting on the short end of a 3-1 score in the bottom of the 7th. As the ground crew covers the field. Boston and Toronto are playing and will attempt to join that telecast. Meanwhile, Tim McCarver has a very interesting story with regard to the National League.
Yeah, this over the wire. The New York Times is reporting today that the San Diego Padres will name Joe McIlvaine, the New York Mets Vice President of Operations, as their new general manager. That is unofficial, and we'd like to stress that. It's unofficial, but the New York Times is reporting today that the Padres will name Joe McIlvaine, who works for the Mets, as their Vice President of Operations, as the Padres' new general manager shortly. If you remember, Jack McKean was fired earlier in the year. So look for McIlvaine to be the new general manager of the Padres.
The Reds were about to come to bat in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 3-1. Were halted by rain and would turn things over to Pat O'Brien in New York.
Very appreciative. I told him just a few seconds ago how proud I am of them. You know, we've been in first place all year, and we would like to go out and win this game, and we still have a chance. We're going to go out there and play hard in the last 3 innings, but San Francisco did it for us today.
Any thoughts about how you clinched it? I mean, here the guys are in there and they get the news the Giants have beaten the Dodgers.
Well, they're all happy. We all shook hands, and it's a nice situation in the clubhouse right now. And you know, these guys have been in first place all year, and it's been tough. We've had our rough spots just like every other team, but they've endured. And when we had to play and win big ball games, we've been able to do that, and I'm really proud of them.
Last question. Who's going to start Thursday night?
Jose Rijo. He's been pitching very well.
Game 2?
Game 2 might be a surprise.
Joining me now, Jose Rijo, starting pitcher, playoff game 1. Jose, the hat's on. Can you describe the emotion of the moment right now?
Unbelievable. You know, I'm unfortunate it happened this way, but we take it anyway. You know, this is more unbelievable feeling I ever had in a moment of baseball.
Really? Now, let me ask you this one question. You've worked hard. I can see you're enjoying yourself a little bit right now. I see some wet stuff on your head here. Is that rain, or is that, what is?
It's the wife told me some stuff. You know, they wait for us in there and try, you know, to throw.
Is it going to be tough to go back and play the rest of this game?
Real tough. I don't think we might not even play this game. Forget about it. They can have it. We don't need it.
Okay, we're going to go to Marge Schott out on the field. I understand that Marge is live with us out on the field. Oh, we got pictures of Marge out on the field. Now, you know, there was a whole lot of talk about the St. Bernard and the, you know, Shotzi and the dog hair and stuff. Did that help you down the stretch a little bit?
It's just a tough question, but, you know, we believe in everything. Anything to bring us luck this year, we take it, you know. We don't know what's, you know, I think it's just the help from God, you know. Because
you know I'm jerking you just a little bit, too.
It's
now,
okay.
What about the tension? There was so much tension leading up to this thing, and I could just see it with you guys being tight. Now, the release, did you think, I mean, wasn't in a situation where you knew it was coming, but you just couldn't wait for it to happen?
See, well, this is kind of ugly, you know, the way we did it, because, you know, we was kind of, you know, in a slump, you know, that's almost this whole second half. We take it any way they can, you know, but the team has put some win together, you know, at the right time, and that's what matters. You know, they was hungry enough to try to win this, and that's what we did. We win the whole thing, and that's what we're proud of about it.
Jose, thank you very much. Good luck there.
Thank you!
Thank you! My good friends here with the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, sir. Tony Perez, live. You're over there, I think, baby.
Greg, I'm glad that didn't happen to me, but you'll be okay. Get that guy a towel. I'm here with a very happy Tony Perez. And, Doggy, we went through this together in Philadelphia. You've done it here in Cincinnati as a player. Do you know what these guys are feeling like right now?
I know. There's a good feeling. I really... we in first place into the first days, and we deserve this. I think the guys play hard all year long. It's not easy to be in first place for 162 games, and we did it. And I hope next year we come back and do it again. But this year is something special because we are in first place in the opening day.
Tony, was there ever a point in the season where you, Lou, or the players maybe started to feel a little uneasy, like maybe you were being threatened by the Giants or the Dodgers?
Well, yes, you worry about the other teams, but you have to go out there and do it day by day, and don't worry about, don't look back. We did that, and this team bounced back. You know, we got to the tough times sometime, and we bounced back, and we win this thing. I really very happy about it.
You know how nice it is to play here in Cincinnati in front of such great fans. You know that they have to be feeling real good right now, too.
Yeah, I know the fans here are feeling back, and they feel like during the 70s when we won so many National League Division and National League pennants and World Series, and this is a nice feeling. It's coming back to me.
All right, Tony, thanks so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lenny.
Greg, we're going to take it back to you. You've got Steve Schott there.
Yeah, and I got most of the pie off my face. Steve, this has to be a great moment for you as well.
This is an incredible day. This is just, it's the greatest feeling. It's great for the fans of Cincinnati. It's great for everybody who came to support us this year. This is the fans of Cincinnati. Thank you.
Well, let me ask you one question. How did you get the word to the guys? I know because you were delaying the score on the board to a certain extent. Did you just walk in and say, hey, guys, it's over?
Actually, I called Candlestick Park, and then I got onto the radio station, and we're hearing the play-by-play. And finally, they got on and told us that we had won it. And by that time, everybody else had shortly thereafter heard about it. But everybody's extremely excited, and it's fantastic.
So it's worth all the long hours and all the tough stuff that goes on during the season.
Absolutely.
Steve,
and we're looking for more.
Congratulations to you, Steve.
Thanks, Greg.
Now we're going to Lenny again, and Ron Oster, a guy who's been through lean years here and some tough times. He's back for the good ones. Lenny.
All right, Greg. Ronnie O, 11 years here in Cincinnati. I know how much it meant to you to want to play on a championship team. It's finally happened. Your feelings right now?
It's great. I tell you, it's been a long time, and it's all worth it now. I mean, this is the ultimate, and
hopefully now we'll look into the playoffs and win 4 out of those games and get to the real thing, the World Series.
Now, I know you mentioned that in '79, you got called up in September and you had a little taste of it, but could it be anything like the real thing right now? No, because I didn't feel like I was a part of it then. I was called up in September, and I know the celebration was great for the guys, and I kind of sat back and watched, and now I'm part of it, and it's just not a better feeling in the world right now. So many of the people, including Lou, have mentioned how tough it was to go wire to wire. How tough was it from a player's standpoint? What was the difficulty in going wire to wire? I think it's always tougher going in when you're at the top, because you have the teams that want to knock off the top team, and everybody played us tough. Everybody it gave everybody extra incentive to bump off the top team, and it's tough, but there's no other way I'd want to do it. Being on top all year is the way to do it, and we did it. And like I said, words don't describe how good I feel right now. Jake, how do you feel about your dad being on a championship team? He feels pretty good, too. He was down there. He's probably one of the first ones when I came out that I high-fived it with. I'm just glad for him to see something like this. And, I know he'll remember it. He's 4 years old, so he'll remember it. My other one's down there. And it's just, this is just outstanding, not only for us, but for the city of Cincinnati, because it's been a long time for them, too. And, fans were behind us. The fans were great out there today, and it's just getting that playoff atmosphere. Congratulations, Ronnie. Thanks so much for taking the time. We're going to go to Greg now, who's got Mr. Mello himself, Randy Myers. Go ahead, Greg.
Mello. I don't know, have you ever been called Mr. Mello? Randy Myers, the nasty man himself. You come over to this ball club, and what was viewed at the time as a controversial trade, all you did was put your nose to the grindstone, go out and do the job, and I think add a certain something to this clubhouse needed, some lightness and some intensity.
Well, I think that it's not just me, it's the team. We start out with 27 guys, 25-man roster, coaches, players, and we worked out as a team. We got off to a good start. We've been struggling, playing about 500 balls since the first couple months. First couple months went for us.
Now, down the stretch, when there was so much talk about being tight and so forth, you have been through this before. Did you say to the guys, hey, don't worry about it, let's just play the game, let's just be aggressive and do what we did at the beginning of the season? Or was that just a creation of the press?
I think it was a lot of a creation of the press, because you got to go out one game at a time. These guys know it. You're going to have winning streaks, you're going to have losing streaks, you're going to have peaks, you're going to have valleys.
Right.
And we took and we hang through it, but it's not over. We have this game and 4 more, and then we're going to the playoffs. So it's just continuation. Ultimate goal is to win the World Series, and that's what we're shooting for.
In terms of this team and shaping up for the playoffs, how do you feel about it right now?
Well, I think we're fine. We got to go, and we're going to have a few days, get some guys healthy again. And I think we're fine, but we still got tomorrow. We got 4 more games, and we got to look at them first.
One other question, the hats. How long have these been in the works, and when did you see them the first time today?
I just got one in my locker. That's the last
locker. Randy, thank you very much. We're going back to Lenny, Reds General Manager Bob Quinn.
Lenny? Hi, Greg. We just keep things rolling along, and we've got a very, very happy General Manager Bob Quinn here. Bob, first off, congratulations.
Len, thank you very much.
31 years, it has to feel good for you. I know you said earlier your dad had gone through this and you had witnessed it, but firsthand, it's got to be special.
It's a personal special for me, yes, but more particularly for the fans of Cincinnati who richly deserve it. I'm thrilled for Lou Piniella and his staff and for the ball players. To go wire to wire like we did is an accomplishment that's second to none, and it's phenomenal, and I'm really happy for everybody concerned.
I mean, this wasn't easy. I mean, you come in new, you bring in Lou Piniella, virtually a whole new staff. You go through the lockout of spring training, a shortened spring training. How'd you get things done so efficiently?
To me, Lou and his staff did a phenomenal job in spring training. We came spring training so well prepared that it was reflected in our 13-3 in April and our 17-9 in May. That sort of carried us throughout the season. Then we played great baseball in San Diego a week ago, where we played like we did in April and May. You can't say enough good things about Lou Piniella, his coaching staff, and the players themselves. When they had to win a key ball game, they won a key ball game. But it's very, very difficult. You were a player to imagine that a team can go wire to wire. It's a very tough act.
Finally, going into the playoffs, do you feel good about this team, the way they're playing right now, going in and facing what looks like the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Hopefully we'll get a little rest. We think we need that because Eric Davis is down a little bit, and our offense isn't quite what it would be and should be with Eric out of the lineup. So, yes, we feel real good about facing either the Pirates or the Mets, perhaps the Pirates in the National League Championship Series.
All right, keep smiling now. You deserve it, okay?
Thank you, Len.
All right,
appreciate that.
Bob Quinn, and we're going to go now back to Greg, and he's got a very happy Joe Oliver. I can see him smiling from here.
This guy, I want to tell you, has done an amazing job this year. Catching was a question mark going into the season, and Joe Oliver has been in there virtually every day doing a job with the bat. Past couple of games, 2 incredible blocks to plate. Your feelings about this season and this moment right now, Joe?
Well, I think it's been a great season for us. We pulled together as a team, and I think that's what we really needed to do this year to get us over the top. And I think that this is going to be a big lift for us to get ready to go into the playoffs. And I'm happy about this season. We finally did something that we haven't been able to do in the past, and it's something to look forward to.
When something happens like it did today, does the fatigue of the season, particularly for a catcher, kind of disappear? Is it suddenly gone and you're ready to play ball again? Start the second season, as they say.
I think so. It doesn't take really too much to get you ready for the playoffs. It's a big emotional lift, and you're excited about going into postseason play, and I think it's something that's going to get everybody excited and wanting to get the big hit and make the big play.
I think we're going to go back out to the field for a little bit of a celebration. Oh, whoa, no, I'm sorry. We're back to Lenny with Billy Hatcher over in the corner.
I know it's a little hard to get things straight every now and then down here. It's bedlam, but we got another happy, excited Red. Billy Hatcher, you come over. First off, congratulations, of course. Second time for you. You came over from Pittsburgh, but before that with Houston. Any comparisons between this year's Reds and the championship team you were on in Houston?
Well, I think this team might be a little bit better. I mean, we're good in all facets of the game. We got good defense, good pitching, and we hit the ball. Over there was pitching and defense, and, we scratched for runs, but we had very, very good pitching. But over here, I think this here is a more complete ball club. This ball club can dominate. So, we're just ready for the playoffs. We're ready to, whoever we have to battle, we're ready to battle.
Now, I know you would never admit this, but I feel like you coming over when you did and having the kind of start really helped propel this club to the great start. What was it about you coming over here to Cincinnati and feeling so comfortable and playing well?
Well, they played my type of baseball, so it was like I just blended right in with the guys. And, just to get off to a good start. And then when Eric went down, I think that's when this team became a team, because they knew they didn't have the guy in the middle of the lineup that's going to hit your 3-run homers every night. So the team had to do all the little things to win. And so when we started doing those things, we knew that we can win. How good we were without Eric, then we said, wait till we get him back, and we're going to show him how good we can really be.
Was that important to this team, winning without Eric during that stretch?
Yes, it was, because you never know when your ace is going to go down. And when he went down, I mean, it was a lot of sad faces in the clubhouse, but the guys picked it up. I mean, and we went after it. And once you go after it and you take that eye out of team and just go team, then you can do a lot of things.
What about Derek here? Derek, you got anything to say? You happy about this?
Derek doesn't want to talk right now. He doesn't know really what's going on.
You'll tell him someday, though, won't you?
That's right. The only thing he's worried about right now, he said, Daddy, you guys are losing 3-1. Why are you guys happy?
Well, listen, that's what we're going to have for you right now from down here. We're going to send it back to George in the studio. George, if you're there, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Lenny. I am here with Curtis. Curtis, I've never seen those guys so excited. I mean, Eric Davis, not even the day he signed his $9 million contract did I see him doing this number. I mean, the guy, as long as he's been here, I've never seen him so excited. Reds in the middle of a rain delay right now, but they've wrapped up the Western Division. The Dodgers lost in San Francisco 4-3, and that brought on this. The Reds going crazy out on the tarp just after they found out they were Western Division champs. Randy Myers with probably the best head-first slide of the year there. Then they go out and pay tribute to the fans down at the stadium today. Tell you what, it looks like almost a knothole celebration. These guys were little kids again. And moving on to what the next step may be, the playoffs, it looks like the Reds are going to be meeting the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates cut the magic number to 1 today, which means they've clinched at least a tie with the Mets. About 5 games left, 4 games left. It looks like it's going to be the Pirates and the Reds in the National League playoffs. We'll talk more about that a little later.
Well, the Reds deserve to be happy today.
You got that right.
No champagne, though.
No. September 28th. 1979, the last time the Reds had a celebration like that when they won the West.
Yeah.
Been a long time.
All right, I know you'll have more a little bit later.
Will do.
Thanks, George. Well, as George mentioned, there is a rain delay, and we'll check on the status of the weather in just a moment. Stay with us.
I'm joined by a lady who has been through a lot and waited a long time. Marge, you've got to feel like you're on top of the world.
My heart's pounding. I can't believe that, this has happened. But we're going to come back and really win it by winning a game ourselves.
You're going to insist on that.
Insist. I told the team out there, Shotzi is here, okay? Can you film on Shotzi? And Shotzi stole my shirt. She put my shirt on and she went out on the field. But I'm also have Shotzi here with me. I wore it today instead of Lou, okay? Yeah. In my pocket, and I don't know, but Shotzi's at a wonderful time.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
4 straight years you finished second. Last year you go down to 5th. This past winter you got involved, you made some big changes, and you said to me, we were talking one night in the winter, we're going to do it this year.
And you said a dumb woman's going to do it, remember that?
No.
No, it's been my ambition, not so much for myself, but the fans, and I guess the greatest thing I want in my life, Tim, is that big ring that women can't wear, okay? Yeah, but I'm just so happy that this has happened to our town. We haven't had it since '79, and we deserve it. And I kept thinking it was going to happen all those other years, and just to see the fans out there today was just thrilled me, and I'm just happy for everybody in our area. Everybody.
Has it totally soaked in, Marge, at this point?
No, it hasn't. When I walked on the field, I thought, what are they doing? We haven't really won it, you know, because I thought we had to win our game today, but it was just the Dodgers lost. But we're going to come out. I told my guys, I'll kill them. If they don't come out, well, I won't kill them. If they don't come out and win this game after the rain delay. That's what I want to do, and then we really win it. But the greatest thing is that we have done a record that we have started first and finished first, and that, to me, we're almost famous for that.
That's quite an achievement.
Yeah, so Shotzi and I are very happy. Okay,
and thank you, Shotzi. We're going to Lenny Matusek. Was joined, I think he's coming back with Lou Piniella. Len?
Okay, well, I had Lou here, Greg, but he's talking to Doug Harvey now, probably about the game, and before he comes back, and I know that Lou will, I just want to mention that it's really strange the way the Reds have had to go through this clinching. I mean, they had a chance to go out on the field today, win the game, and clinch it. It didn't happen quite that way, but the Giants, our friends from out in San Francisco, helped out quite a bit, and it's just a weird thing. It's like, you know, they wanted to win it themselves, but they're just as happy to be able to take it this way. I mean, you win a division, you work all year, and that's what it's all about. And now Lou Piniella's here. And Lou,
thank you.
Congratulations. I mean that sincerely.
I'll tell you what, I'm so proud of this ball club. We went to spring training back in March and got this team ready to play. They came out of the box so well. We opened up a big lead, and we've had our rough spots along the way, but every time we've had to really regroup and win big ball games, we've been able to do it, and it's been a great season for us. Wire to wire, it's never been done before in the National League. I'm so proud of these players.
How about the obstacles that you and Bob Quinn came into Cincinnati with? I mean, coming from the American League, the lockout, you had the short spring training to deal with. How did you guys get the job done so quickly?
Well, first of all, I'm so thankful to this ball club for giving me the opportunity to come here and manage it. And working for Marge has been great. She's let me do my job like she promised. I told her when she brought me here, I really didn't come here to manage. I came here to win. And you know, never did I anticipate that that I would take over a ball club that would lead from wire to wire. But I'll tell you, I knew coming out of spring training that we had good talent here. I knew that it would be competitive. I just didn't realize what the talent level was around the National League because I didn't know it. I didn't know what to expect. But the way we came out of the box, it goes to show that if you get a team ready in spring training and they play well early in the season, it carries its momentum throughout.
Were there points in the season or a point that you felt threatened seriously, that you thought, man, I don't know about our team right now? Was there that one time, or did you always feel like your team would respond?
I always had confidence in this ball club. When you have a team like San Francisco chasing you at times, and they're the defending league champions, they know how to play, they know how to win. Sometimes a club like that, it reminded me of the situation when I was with the '78 Yankees, a team that won the World Championship in '77 and fell behind about 14 games, and we made a rush from the All-Star break on and caught Boston. But this ball club here, listen, every time it had to win the big ball game, whether it was playing San Francisco, whether it was playing the big series against Pittsburgh. When we went there after they'd beat us 4 in a row here, and the first game of the series, we came back and won 3 more. We've been able to do that. So it's a good sign. It goes to show that when things got a little tight, the players responded.
Do you think that maybe because it was so tough for this team to go wire to wire, that maybe going into the playoffs, they may be almost relaxed? Because I see you as being very relaxed right now, and the team may just take off in the postseason.
I feel very good about our chances in postseason play. You know, we've got good pitching here. We play very well defensively. I'm going to be able to rest a few of my players now that I've been wanting to rest for a while. We're banged up in a couple areas. They'll get healthy. And we'll be ready for Pittsburgh or the Mets or whoever comes in here next Thursday, and I feel good about our chances.
And are you ready for the golf course? Because I know that's something that you've wanted to do since you got here.
I'll be out there either Monday or Tuesday for the first time this summer, and I can go hack around and enjoy the next couple of days. But listen, the amazing part about it is in this job we'll start preparing right away for postseason, and we've got some work to do here. I'd like to give the guys that haven't been playing too much some at-bats, some playing time. We need to get a few pitchers really sharpened up, tuned up, especially the guys coming out of the bullpen. And then we've got to make some important decisions on who's going to start what games and what type of lineup we're going to play and so forth.
Well, enjoy this, okay, for the time being. Congratulations. Anita's over there. Spend some time with her, because I know it's been a long season away. All right, Lou, thanks so much. All right, we're going back now to Greg Horde, and Greg has maybe the most surprising player here in Cincinnati this year, even though I wasn't surprised in spring training. I knew Hal Morris had that stroke. Go ahead, Greg.
Thanks, Len. Hal Morris had that stroke, and I'm telling you something. I remember sitting with you at a caravan banquet earlier this season, and you were very nervous, but from the time you hit the field, it was all polish and all stroke. Tell me about this season. I mean, you didn't seem nervous one bit at all from day one. You went out in position, got it done.
Well, you know, when I step in the batter's box, I've always been aggressive, and I had Lou in the dugout who has confidence in me, and that helped me out a lot. And all the guys were great here. You know, although I was young, they supported me, and if I had a bad game, they'd pick me up, and everyone helped me out here a lot, and that had a lot to do with it.
I got to tell you, Hal, and the folks back home, this game has been called, so you're not going to have to play the rest of the day. But I'm sure that doesn't take anything away from your emotions right now.
Oh, not at all. This is this is the biggest thrill of my life. You know, being traded here was a big thrill, but by far this is one of the happiest days of my life right now.
Going into the postseason play, do you have a boost from this? I mean, I know to play this many games, you're worn down, but at this point you can't be feeling any fatigue at all. I wouldn't think.
Oh, not at all. You know. I haven't felt fatigue this month at all, you know, because we've been playing in big games, and they've meant a lot, and I think the whole club feels that way. So we're ready to go here. We're going to be ready to play.
Do you want to play Pittsburgh?
It doesn't matter to me, anyone.
It doesn't matter to you?
No.
Hal, thank you very much. We're going to throw it back to the studios with George and Curtis. The celebration, I'm sure, will take off again here in just a minute because we have been informed the game's been called. These guys don't have anywhere else to go now except to celebrate. We'll put it that way. George, Curtis, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Greg. You know, it's been real exciting. When you think about that, we've been watching the Reds come to this point all year. You know, it's been really exciting.
Yeah, you expected this day to come back in April when they jump off to that lead. It's like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Well, it finally happens, and it is fun. It is fun. You see the players. I mean, Hal Morris, he's an old throwback, isn't he, with the black stuff under the eyes? I kind of like that guy, but an exciting day down at Riverfront. They had a lot of fun. Greg was saying, who do you want to play, Pittsburgh or New York? It looks like Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I wonder how Mother Nature played a part in this thing today, but the Reds certainly have not been washed out this season. Cincinnati clinches the NLWest title and becomes the first National League team to ever lead their division for an entire season. You can thank the Giants for beating the Dodgers this afternoon, but they still count, and Cincinnati is still in. Down at Riverfront today, the Reds wanted a win. They went for it early. Hal Morris to double down the line, scoring Barry Larkin. Cincinnati had the lead, but in the meantime, Norm Charlton was pitching well until the sixth. That's when, with the bases loaded, he walked Benito Santiago, scored the Padre run. It was a 1-1 game. And a little later, Darren Jackson, the rip to left, scored the run first, but then watch Glenn Brax coming up throwing. He is going to nail Jack Clark at home, and the San Diego lead stayed at 2-1. San Diego 7th, Mike Pagliarulo, nobody on, but Pax takes Charlton deep to right. It was a 3-1 San Diego game. But then the rains came, and so did the win for the San Francisco Giants on the coast. The players came back out with new T-shirts proclaiming them as the NLWest champs. That game was later called. It finished at a 3-1 score. Meantime, the real story still unfolds down at Riverfront Stadium. That's where the Reds are wrapping things up right now, and that's where we go now to join John Popovich, who is standing by live and in the rain.
John? Hi, Bill. Yeah, the game ended a couple hours ago, but I'll tell you what, the real action happened after the game, didn't it?
We still haven't even started yet. We got a tremendous party going here. Everybody's excited. Everybody throwing all kind of stuff together, some whipped cream and milk, chocolate milk, everything. We're having fun. I think this is the most fun I ever had in my whole life.
With me, Jose Rio, of course, who's been a big part of this September run. you still have some of the battle scars here, whipped cream and everything else.
I'm telling you, it's tough to get away from them guy. That guy is just hunting. The hunt is on. They're just trying to get anybody up there.
Lou Piniella said immediately after the game ended that you would be his starter Thursday against the Eastern Division club. That has to make you happy.
Thank you. Very happy. I just glad that he chose me. It don't matter either way he could go, and he just chose me, and I'm just happy, that he chose me. But everybody like Norm Charlton, he also deserves a chance. But I guess he decided to go with me. I just pushed it, and that's showing he believed in me.
I see lightning. You better get in there.
I don't want to get struck by
lightning.
Okay,
thanks a lot, bud. It was a wild scene, though, and nobody seemed to mind that there was a lot of rain here. We had, well, I got pretty wet inside the locker room. That's why I really don't care that I'm getting wet more. John Popovich live from Riverfront Stadium.
Popo, hit the dry cleaners. Thanks for your time, and stay out of the whipped cream. Thank you much. Meantime, we talked earlier about the LA Dodgers losing. Show you the score from the coast this afternoon. San Francisco 4-3 winners, and I don't think there's better news in all of baseball. Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers.